Mike asked 10 dealerships about the same new car. 5 were told he planned to pay cash. 5 were told he was open to financing. The practical lesson from the comparison is simple. Do not announce that you are paying cash at the beginning. Negotiate the vehicle price while the dealer still believes financing may be part of the transaction. Then evaluate the loan separately. Protect yourself in the finance office and pay the balance quickly only if the written contract permits it and the math still works. The number that should get your attention is not the sticker price. It is $8,744. That is approximately how much interest a buyer would pay if one loan combined 3 recent American averages: $43,925 financed, a 6.39% interest rate, and a term of 69.5 months. The borrowed amount becomes about $52,669 in total payments. That does not mean every buyer will pay exactly $8,744, and it does not mean a dealership secretly keeps all that money. This is a transparent loan calculation built from Experian's first quarter 2026 averages. But it reveals the trap in the way people compare car deals. A car does not have only one negotiated price. It has the price of the vehicle, and it has the price of the money used to buy it. Mike's 10-dealer comparison is a model, not a claim that 10 secret recordings were made. That distinction matters. The goal is to recreate the offer patterns a real buyer can encounter using current market numbers and then compare them without letting a low payment or an attractive discount distract us. The car in the model is identical at every store. Same configuration, same equipment. No trade-in during the first round, because a trade can move money into yet another column. Mike asks each dealer for a written out-the-door price, including required fees and dealer-installed products, before discussing the loan. That follows the Federal Trade Commission's own consumer guidance. Get the out-the-door price in writing before visiting the lot and before talking about dealer financing. Otherwise, the word price can mean almost anything. Sticker price, sale price, price before fees, price after rebates, or simply the amount the salesperson wants you to focus on. Then Mike records 4 numbers from every offer. Number 1, the out-the-door price. Number 2, the amount financed after down payment and any products added to the loan. Number 3, the annual percentage rate and the number of months. Number 4, the total of payments or total finance charge shown in the lending disclosures. Those 4 numbers are the first substantial payoff from this experiment. If a dealer will not provide enough information to fill all 4 boxes, Mike does not yet have a comparable offer. If this was helpful, subscribe for more practical videos about personal and family finance, and send this one to someone who might find it useful too. Now, the interesting part begins, because the 10 offers do not need to look dishonest to produce very different results. The money can simply move. One dealer can hold firm on the car price and offer a lower rate. Another can advertise a large discount, but attach that discount to dealer financing. A third can quote a comfortable monthly payment by stretching the loan. A fourth can match the out-the-door price, then add optional products to the financed balance. A fifth can offer a manufacturer's promotional rate, but only if Mike gives up a cash rebate. The offers look different because they are different. Yet buyers often compare only whichever number is easiest to see. Start with the annual percentage rate. The Consumer Protection Bureau explains that with dealer-arranged financing, a lender may send the dealership an approved rate known as the buy rate. The dealer can present a higher rate to the customer and may receive compensation for arranging that financing. This does not mean every dealer marks up every loan. It means the first rate placed on the desk is not necessarily the lowest rate a buyer qualifies for. The CFPB says the rate can be negotiated, just like the vehicle price. Here's what 1 percentage point can do. Keep Mike's amount financed at $43,925. Keep the term at 69.5 months. At 6.39%, the modeled interest is about $8,744. Raise the rate to 7.39%, and the modeled interest rises to about $10,202. That 1 point difference adds roughly $1,458. So imagine dealer A discounts the car by $500 but quotes the higher rate. Dealer B refuses the $500 discount but offers the lower rate. If everything else is equal, the offer that looks $500 more expensive can finish roughly $958 cheaper.
That is how someone can win the argument over the car and still lose the transaction. The monthly payment makes this even easier to miss. The difference between those two modeled payments is only about $21 a month. $21 sounds negotiable. It sounds like a streaming subscription and lunch. But multiplying that small difference across almost 6 years turns it into 4 figures. A monthly payment is useful for checking cash flow. It is terrible as the only measure of price. At this point, cash may sound like the obvious answer. No loan means no $8,000 interest bill. That is true if Mike has the cash, is comfortable spending it, and the cash offer has the same vehicle price and incentives. But that last condition is where the simple rule breaks. Manufacturers sometimes offer low promotional rates, cash rebates, or financing-linked incentives on particular vehicles. The FTC and CFPB both warn consumers to read the qualifications. Some offers are limited to certain models, terms, or borrowers with stronger credit. A buyer may also have to choose between the rebate and the low rate. Consider a simplified choice. One offer gives Mike a $2,000 rebate but uses a normal market loan. Another keeps the car price $2,000 higher but offers 0% financing. Which wins? There is no honest answer until the loan amount, term, and foregone rebate are calculated. With a large enough loan held for long enough, saving thousands in interest can outweigh the missing rebate. With a small loan or a rapid payoff, the rebate may be more valuable. This is why cash is king and always take the promotional rate are both incomplete advice. Payment method is not a team to join. It is the result of a comparison. Mike improves that comparison by arriving with an outside pre-approval from a bank or credit union. The pre-approval gives him a real rate, term, and maximum loan amount before the dealership controls the conversation. Then the dealer gets a fair opportunity to beat it. Sometimes the dealer can. Manufacturer-backed financing may be genuinely excellent. Dealer financing can also be convenient. The point is not to reject it. The point is to compare it against an offer that already exists. The CFPB notes that dealers commonly contact multiple lenders when arranging financing. Mike can ask whether another lender returned a lower rate or better terms. A polite question can save more money than another hour arguing over floor mats. But the loan rate is only one place where the total can grow. The next place appears after a buyer feels the main negotiation is finished. That is when optional products enter the conversation. A service contract, gap coverage, wheel and tire protection, paint treatment, theft products, or other packages. Some of these products can be useful for some buyers. Gap coverage, for example, can address the difference between a vehicle's insured value and the loan balance in certain situations. A service contract may reduce the uncertainty of some repair bills. But useful is not the same as mandatory, and useful is not the same as fairly priced. The FTC tells buyers that add-ons are optional and that their prices can be negotiated. It also recommends checking the final contract to make sure it contains only the products the buyer agreed to at the prices quoted. The borrowing cost matters here too. Suppose Mike accepts $2,000 of optional products and rolls them into the average loan model. At 6.39% over 69.5 months, those products add about $34.51 to the monthly payment. That sounds small, but the $2,000 package ultimately costs about $2,398. Roughly $398 is interest on the add-ons themselves. This is why finance office decisions should be evaluated by product price and total financed cost, not by the phrase, only $35 more per month. Public dealership filings also explain why this part of the transaction receives attention. AutoNation, one of America's largest publicly traded dealership groups, reported finance and insurance gross profit of $2,769 per retail vehicle in 2025. Finance and insurance represented 29.5% of the company's gross profit that year, even though it represented a much smaller share of revenue. That figure includes more than loan rate compensation. AutoNation says the category also includes commissions connected with service contracts and other protection products. It's an aggregate across a large public company, not a receipt showing what one store earned from Mike. Still, it demonstrates something important. The discussion after the vehicle price is not clerical cleanup. It is a meaningful commercial stage of the sale. And this is where the $8,744 title needs one more clarification. Most of that modeled interest is the cost of borrowing, paid according to the loan contract. It is not automatically dealership profit. Depending on the arrangement, a dealer may receive compensation for arranging the loan or for a rate above the lender's buy rate, while the creditor receives interest over time. Calling $8,744 hidden dealer profit would be dramatic. It would also be wrong. The real trap is subtler. Interest is often psychologically hidden because it is divided into dozens of acceptable-looking payments. Now consider a popular strategy. A buyer accepts dealer financing to receive a lower vehicle price, drives home, and pays the loan off immediately. Can that work? Sometimes, but it is not a universal trick. The CFPB says the contract and state law determine whether an auto loan can be prepaid without penalty. Mike must review the contract and the truth in lending disclosures. He also needs to understand whether an incentive has conditions, whether any fees were charged up front, how quickly the lender can produce a payoff amount, and whether spending the cash leaves his household financially exposed. Paying a loan early can reduce future interest. It does not erase a documentation fee, an overpriced product, or another cost already financed. And using nearly $44,000 at once may not be wise for a household that would empty its emergency savings. The correct lesson is not to lie about your finances. It is to keep your payment method open while negotiating the purchase price. You can honestly say, "I'm open to financing if the complete terms are competitive." That preserves the possibility of financing revenue for the dealer without making a promise you have not agreed to keep. Once the purchase price is fixed in writing, negotiate the financing as a separate transaction. Decline warranties, gap coverage, and other finance and insurance products you do not want. Negotiate the products you do want. Read the contract line by line. Look for an origination fee, a prepayment penalty, financed add-ons, and any condition tied to the vehicle discount or rebate. If the contract permits early repayment, the discount remains valid, the upfront charges do not erase the savings, and Mike has the cash without damaging his emergency reserves. He can accept the loan and request a payoff very quickly. The goal is to capture the financing buyer vehicle price without carrying the debt long enough to pay substantial interest. But very quickly does not mean guessing. Mike obtains the official payoff amount from the lender, follows its payment instructions, confirms that the account closes with a zero balance, and keeps the documentation. If the loan contains a penalty, an origination fee, a minimum finance condition, or unfavorable interest mechanics, he recalculates before signing and walks away if the strategy no longer saves money. Now Mike can rank the 10 modeled offers. First, remove any quote that does not identify the actual vehicle or provide an itemized out-the-door price. Second, separate required government charges from dealer fees and optional products. Third, compare cash offers using the same assumptions about taxes, registration, and equipment. Fourth, compare financing offers using the same down payment and term. A 72-month offer should not be declared cheaper than a 60-month offer merely because its payment is lower. Fifth,
Record the total of payments, then add any cash paid up front. That produces a more complete acquisition total. Sixth, consider products on their own. If Mike wants gap coverage or a service contract, he can compare the dealer price with alternatives and check exclusions instead of accepting a bundle under time pressure. Finally, apply real-life constraints. Does Mike have the cash without draining his reserves? Is the loan fixed rate? Is the financing final before he drives away? Does he expect to keep the car for the full term? Is the promotional offer actually available to him? Only then does one of the 10 quotes become the winner. For one buyer, the cash offer may win because it removes interest and preserves a rebate. For another, dealer financing may win because a subsidized rate is worth more than the foregone cash incentive. For a third, outside financing may offer the best balance of rate, flexibility, and simplicity. The answer changes because the inputs change. The method does not. Get the out-the-door price in writing. Bring an outside financing benchmark. Compare annual percentage rate and term, not payment alone. Review the total finance charge. Price every optional product separately. And read the final contract against the offer you accepted. Mike's experiment started with a choice between cash and financing. It ends with a strategy. Do not announce cash at the beginning. Negotiate the vehicle price aggressively as a buyer who may finance. Protect the savings in the finance office and repay the loan quickly only when the contract and the math say you can. That question is harder for a sales process to manipulate because every discount must survive the loan math, every convenient payment must reveal its term, and every add-on must show its full price. The cheapest car is not the one with the smallest payment. It is the one whose full price survives the math. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.